Oh, there you are. I was hoping you'd make it. Come in, sit down. Welcome to the Story Well. If you've found your way here, then here is where you belong. And joining us at the table is a multi-hyphenate actress, singer, podcaster. We could be on here the rest of the night if we could all hear hyphenates. But Mandy, thank you so much for coming to the Story Well.
You're very welcome. You left off Golden Girls expert. That's the one I'm most proud of.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we did that, then like the entire thing would be intro, and while that would be great.
Who's got the time?
People want to hear us talk. They don't want to
Yes.
just hear all the amazing things you've done. They want to see the amazing things you're about to do.
Fair enough.
So, I guess I want to start with, because the one thing we share is that we both love musicals.
Yes.
Right now, we're in a period where it seems like all the musicals are just remakes of movies. Mm-hmm. So I guess my question to you then is, what do you think are the elements of movies that make them good to translate into musicals?
Oh, it's interesting. I just watched The Full Monty, the original film.
Okay.
And the musical did a really wonderful job of taking the moments in that film that needed to be explored and then expanding them into songs. And I think that I'm not a huge fan of just taking movies and making them into musicals and, and hey, that was easy, we're done.
Right.
But when you have a movie that's beloved and charming and speaks right to our hearts, mm-hmm. and then what's better than expanding those moments with music? I think that's, the key. I can't believe there's no Princess Bride musical. That's,
I think it's only a matter of time. I think I'm sure right now they're in a studio in Seattle. People are getting ready for their out of town trial,
and I'm available. Liar. I'm ready.
I think we had, when we were on Saturday Matinee, I think you had cast it already. I
did. Yeah. That sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find. I like, as much as Disney has a bad habit of doing this, just taking their existing movie and then moving it on there. I do like when they take the existing story and expand it out, so you get to see sort of more. Mm-hmm. And yet, when they do that sort of live action stuff, I'm like, that guy wasn't in the movie. Why are you adding this more? It's right. I guess that we are hard to please sometimes, as you can see by the amount of failures that are in there.
Yeah, and the other trend is jukebox musicals. That's hard to say. And I am so sick of it. Yeah. Just because somebody has a bunch of hits, you don't have to write a musical about them.
Yeah.
They can just be a successful artist.
I love Alanis, but I saw Jagged Little Pill, and I was like, oh, that was nice.
Oh, not a fan. That's the one people tend to like. I've heard the soundtrack, but I haven't seen the show. Yeah,
it just came to town, and we used Gold Star to see the touring cast, and they put us at the top balcony, back row. Couldn't have been far. My thumb could have covered the principal cast. Mm-hmm. And it was great to hear sort of really powerful renditions of her songs. Yeah. But I've seen Alanis in concert, and it was so much better.
People like the story, though. I know people who are moved by it.
It's not the worst thing I've seen. In terms of, I wouldn't put it in the worst of things, but in terms of jukebox musicals, I sort of went, oh yes, that was fine.
Ugh, yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Did you ever suffer through the Bodyguard musical?
No, no, but I did listen to the Pretty Woman the musical soundtrack.
That's not a jukebox. That's just a movie musical.
Just a straight
God,
up.
It's awful. I thought it was a joke when I was listening. At first, I heard a song and I thought, oh, this is funny. Oh, they're not trying to be funny.
Yeah. Why do you think it is that when they take even now we've seen with Mean Girls is a movie, becomes a Broadway show, then becomes a movie again. Mm-hmm. Why is it they can't seem to translate a musical to a movie without cutting out half of the songs and trying to do that? I don't understand why they think what worked on the stage wouldn't work in the theater.
I don't either. And I thought that the new West Side Story was a masterpiece.
Oh, wow.
So obviously it can be done.
It can be done.
You can include everything and give everything meaning and a vision.
Yeah. And then sometimes you have Into the Woods.
Yeah, that wasn't a great one. Yeah. Although they included almost everything.
Almost,
But-
yeah. Sometimes they turned into dialogue. But yeah, I know there's some kind of magical formula that sometimes they get, most times they don't.
Yeah.
But speaking of magic, let's see if we can make some magic of our own.
Yes.
Let's tell a story.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. There are no wrong answers. They will just basically guide us towards whatever and we end up making. It'll just sort of the framework in which we tell our story.
3. Is that a wrong answer?
Oh, well, you can do it that way if you want to. You don't even know the first thing. So the first thing we usually start with is the format. So essentially I have a chart of 6 options of things. That would be like book, TV, film, that kind of stuff. So we can either, if you have something that you're interested in doing, we can just pick one, or I can roll the die and see what the fates want us to talk about.
Okay, we can, and I want this to be a collaboration. Shouldn't we do a musical since we were just talking about them?
Sure, sounds great to me.
Okay.
I say we're gonna be doing genres later. So you want to do a musical like straight up on Broadway, like film?
Yes,
or you want to do
a Broadway musical.
A Broadway musical. Okay, I like it. All right. So let's talk about, so let's go into genres then. So we know it's a musical, but what it'll be about. So the same thing with this one. This one I think we'll do
roll
the
the
random
dice.
thing on. So I'm going to roll a die, and we'll see what genre we come up with. That is a 9. Oh, look at that. It's a romance. Oh, of course. Musicals what they do best.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to add a second genre to see what comes up, or do you want to just go with romance and that be? I mean, it could end up adding horror or comedy or thriller or spy.
Roll the GD dice. Wait, is this PG, PG-13? Am I?
You can put everyone. I can bleep it if we need to.
Roll the goddamn dice.
Okay, that is a 19. Look at that. Okay, 19 is.
Wait,
Mandy's
what kind
choice.
of dice are you?
20-sided
Dungeons
die.
and
It's a
Dragons.
20-sided
Okay,
die.
all right.
Yeah. So it is your choice. So it is a romance plus.
A romantic, historical piece.
Okay, historical romance.
Yes.
Okay. Now we can just start from there if you want to, or I can create us a plot. I have a little tool called the story engine that would give us a plot.
Yeah, let's get a plot.
You want a plot? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is something you created. This isn't
This is actually something. So
GPT.
storyenginedeck.com. This is a tool that some brilliant people have put together, and that you can. It has like 1,000 different combinations and the different ways you can do it. But essentially, there's one way where you can just draw cards, put them all together, and then it comes out though. So let's see. Right now we have.
Yeah.
A fiery introvert, which is an interesting thing. We might end up we get allowed one swap, so we can if we change the aspect over, we can do that. Wants to gain fame with or from a trap, but it will mean letting their greatest rival get ahead.
And I would just like to point out what a brave and utterly stupid thing I did by saying historical, because I don't really know anything about history.
Well, it just means that anything that's not now.
Well, that I know, but if I, I said, Napoleon, I wouldn't be able to participate.
Oh, sure.
So,
but I mean, historical could be set in 1995.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's 30 years ago. So,
okay. So, you go. You talk.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. So we have a humble introvert wants to gain fame from a trap, but it'll mean letting their greatest rival get ahead. So trap is what's throwing me. I'm thinking, so maybe we think of the tender trap, maybe it's getting someone to fall in love. So we have that classic sort of maybe Cyrano kind of thing of you're setting someone up
right
with the person, but then you're secretly falling in love with them.
I have it. Are you ready to hear it?
All right, great. Well,
a humble introvert is Jackie Kennedy. Who is trapped in a loveless marriage.
Okay.
And therefore is pushing the romance between JFK and Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that would get her fame because she would then be on her own to live her life and have her own voice.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
So is her goal then just basically to get her husband out of the way so she can just live a happy life?
Yeah, I feel like she was a wildly intelligent woman who then became a first lady, which is a thankless job. And so, she's, and I shouldn't say they have a loveless marriage, but he was a philanderer, and I'm a big JFK fan, but he was a philanderer, and we think he was with Marilyn Monroe. So
facts are facts.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this. Okay, all right. So we don't actually have to come up with the songs like that could be we can
titles maybe
titles would be absolutely fine.
Yes.
All right. So then we're going to we'll have this be. I would say that we should probably not have the assassination as part of the show.
No.
So or Marilyn's death. Like let's just have this in like a very.
We'll have like a Hamilton ending where the gunshot goes off and she goes, and then it's over.
And then or it could just be like her alone on the stage, and there are graves on either side, whatever. Like she's the one who survived. She's the other Hamilton. She's the Eliza.
It's going to be hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll set. I don't know the exact time frame, but basically we'll set it in that sort of like new. You think like newly in the White House, like they just got in, or is it sort of they've been in for that sort of that middle year?
She has to feel oppressed by it, right? So it's not brand new. So 62, where it's old hat. She's itching to change. Yeah. He's out there, happy birthday, Mr. President, all that's happening. So she's...
Oh, that should definitely be in it.
Yeah.
That scene should definitely be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see it sort of opening with them asking him all these questions about even start with we must go to the moon, like this, like all these big fiery things. And they cut to her and they're like, what China patterns are you picking out for the state dinner kind of stuff too? And she's like, I have a lot to, it's the 60s. I have a lot to say about what's going on there. Like, yes, but what are you wearing to the reception?
Yes. Oh, Kyle, see, you're getting in there.
Yeah, that's right. So I think after we have whatever the big opening number is.
But it is a romance. So we also need to have John Kennedy. We need to see the sparks fly with Marilyn Monroe and the idea start to form for Jackie.
Yeah. So
she's okay with this.
Yes, and it should be like Jackie seeing them together. Mm-hmm. After we see what his life is like, her like, and then Marilyn will, I think, maybe come in. Maybe that's what her entrance is. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Mm-hmm. Like it's all leading up to like the birth, and so that's the big moment. And then we have Jackie looking on as her husband is not only being serenaded by this woman, but is really into it.
Yes.
And that's when the plan forms.
Yes. Her song, I Have an Idea, is her inner monologue.
Yeah. Should we have her have a confidant?
Of course. She deserves that.
Whatever
her gay stylist?
Sure. Whatever her... I'm not sure what the body man for the first lady is called. If you watch West Wing, the Charlie, that would be with her chief of staff. I don't know at that time if they had that, but
I don't know.
Her main confidant would be.
There is a woman from the Trump administration, forgive me for saying that on your show, but she was Melania's person, and now she's written a tell-all book because she was there all the time. It was like her right hand. Yeah. I can't remember her name, but somebody like that who's always around her. And because Jackie O is such a stylish, liberal person, I would think it could be, a gay man.
I think it'd be great. That'd be great. So then she has someone to confide in and also to help with the plan. Mm-hmm. Which is, get him distracted so that she can actually go and do some of these things that she wants to be a part of this and not just be a housewife in the White House. Mm-hmm. I like it. So, one of the climactic scene could be she invites Marilyn to the White House for an intimate dinner with the three of them or something. Yeah. And then she has an emergency and has to leave. Yeah. Leaving them alone in this, heightened atmosphere. And they're at the dinner table and there's a scrim and then it just, that light fade that she's standing there at the door, actually listening to this as they have their duet. Mm-hmm. So JFK and Marilyn have this dinner duet. Mm-hmm. Have you any thoughts on what that song would be?
It would be about the wine.
Oh,
It would be
okay.
very, they would be singing about Chianti and
and
it would all be implying other things.
yes,
and
you talk about waiting for its proper time and
ooh, yes,
the right moment and
to pop the
the
cork,
first sip.
to pop
I mean,
the cork.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's really good. I guess so. Then I guess what is going to cause we need a meteor now. We need something to come in and disrupt this thing going on. Will there be any romance for Jackie O, or is the point of it that she's just playing Cyrano, like she's
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it deaden the idea that she wants her own freedom and her own voice if she's just doing it to go away to be with another man?
true? I thought maybe like out of the blue there's somebody else and stuff too, but yeah, maybe that's not the story that we want to do. Like she's entirely focusing on this.
I mean, that would make it a romance, and we did draw romance. So
true, but I mean, the romance could also be between JFK and Marilyn. We can
right.
That can satisfy that.
It's a throuple situation here.
Oh, okay. I like it. That's very progressive.
Well,
especially for the 60s. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to think that she is orchestrating this scenario for the two of them.
Yeah.
So that she can not have to deal with romantic entanglements and just go back to who she was and who she wants to be.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting then to bring in somebody who Marilyn was seeing or something at the time. Your Joe DiMaggio,
your Arthur Miller.
Yeah, Arthur Miller would be great to have in as sort of like a very different energy coming in, and like he would be actively working against this.
Trying to
you're
keep
my
her
girl and stuff too. I mean, even you could. I mean, as we're both writers, to write an Arthur Miller patter song. That could be a lot of fun.
Is Ray Walston still alive, or who's gonna?
Wow! Yeah. I mean, I've been thinking about casting at this point. That'd be down the line. To have like him working against, and then sort of what Jackie needs to do in order to distract him or to get him out of the way.
Arthur Miller, yeah.
If we have Arthur Miller or Joe DiMaggio, like whoever we want to have as.
Why doesn't she set those two up?
Wow, that would be what an interesting conversation that would be between those two.
Yep.
They do have one major thing in common that we know about.
Yes, they do.
But yeah, they could, suddenly it turns into Damn Yankees as they do a whole baseball
right
metaphor song.
Well, so Jackie's a powerful woman. She could have Arthur Miller, be requested in London to go.
Right. Yeah, she could set up some sort of opening of a show.
A cultural attaché.
Ooh.
Right, they throw those things around. You've been requested to go to London on behalf of the American arts.
Yeah,
whatever the word would be.
Yeah, exactly. For the
we've created a position for you in the cabinet.
Yeah, right. There's the BBC are doing something interesting in the West End, and we want you to go in as our representative to see what we can do to learn from them and bring something back, and then send him sort of off. These two there. Yeah, actually, I want to try and get some of that, also that Hollywood glitz and glamour stuff too. So it's not just boardrooms and politics and things.
Right.
So that maybe not a parade. But I still want to have that sort of glitzy glamour. Oh, I guess something on a soundstage would be good. Like she's shooting a movie.
Right.
And they're
and distracted and, and he's calling and she's not focused.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that'd be really good. And the director's getting angry because she's very distracted by the thing. You could do there could be a whole song there about politics and the movies and about how we're all performing and we have to know our lines and we have to know where our light is. And,
ooh.
The two things like,
how they're not so different, those two worlds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I like that.
That's
really good.
That's a song called Our Two Worlds.
Oh, Our Two Worlds. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was thinking Not So Different, but yeah, Our Two Worlds is pretty good. Okay, so then what is it that's going to then what's our big act 1 everything's all fallen off the rails moment? Maybe somebody gets wind of it, like maybe we have like a tabloid.
The Cuban Missile Crisis?
And suddenly from the side, smoking a cigar comes Fidel Castro, like
right?
And
no, right. How
Viva
is
Cubana?
What's the thing at the end of Act 1 that
right that makes
right, the cliffhanger?
Like, yeah, exactly. Is it that the story gets out, and so suddenly JFK has to show that he is the dutiful husband, and like he's like, "Don't worry, I'll never see her again." And it's like, "Oh no."
Although it's a little weird because we know he doesn't end up with her in the end,
right?
With either one of them, sadly, but with Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are we working towards?
Right.
I mean, it's obviously going to be a tragic historical romance.
Sure, you're right. Yeah, but I kind of like the idea of that. Here's a period where everything, like, this is Camelot. Mm-hmm. You know, like I kind of like the idea of that we're going to zoom in just on this period where sky was the limit. Everything, it was bright and bold, and we're flying to the moon, and like it's everything was sort of all the possibilities were there. So I kind of want to like get that, even though we know sort of there's darkness before and there's darkness after. Let's see if we can have that, just that maybe that 1 year where it seemed like anything was possible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's the idea that does the audience know what Jackie's doing? If the audience doesn't know that she's orchestrating this.
Yes.
And then the end of Act 1 is her walking in on Marilyn in her bed.
Yes.
Because John's been called out. Right.
Yeah.
And, she comes in from her trip and says, "Oh, John, I'm home early." And Marilyn's there with the sheet, lights down.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
So, but that would mean that the audience hasn't known all along. The audience thinks this is a story of betrayal and they're cheating and poor Jackie. But then we find out in Act 2 that she's been the one orchestrating this.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. Because that would be a great way to sort of open Act 2 in that you can then sort of do a rewind thing, and you could like show her how Alice. So it looks like we're watching her get cheated on,
right, through
all the first thing, and this romance forming, even though like this gorgeous, beautiful wife is right there, like your perfect first lady. But then it turns out that this was her all along. So we can sort of have her suddenly do the Iago turn in the start of Act 2 and just be like,
I would think maybe they would strike a deal. Jackie and Marilyn, like you can borrow him, I want, or you can keep him, that's the name of the song. You can keep him.
Keep him. Yeah.
But the tension of the end of Act 1 would be, oh my God, these two women are gonna tear each other to shreds.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You think that's going to be a big knockdown drag out, like that's like literally opening the door and then like pulling up the sheet and then like dun, and that's lights go down.
Right.
Everybody goes and gets a $15 martini and then comes back, and then all of a sudden at the top.
Oh, you're adorable. $15 martinis. This is Broadway.
Those
are
Broadway.
$25 martinis. And do they even make them?
The touring version of it. I'm already thinking down, 2029, like when it's on. Okay, so all right, so then when we start Act 2, then are we going to go pick up right where we left off at that moment, or do we want to see?
I think you have to.
And I guess would that be the song then that explains? Would she explain to Marilyn that she's been doing this, or would it just be like, hey, I'm not going to get in your way? Like that's the song we were talking
I think
about.
You Can Keep Him is where she's like, don't worry, you know,
Yeah.
I'm good. I want out and I want you in, and
Yeah.
whatever we got to do to keep your romance alive. You guys seem to have real feelings and affection for each other. And I want to go, you know, what the hell would Jackie want to do?
To be able that she can, she actually can go and be out doing all these things without having to be like at his side, because like the companionship thing is sort of taken care of. Mm-hmm. He's distracted. He thinks he's getting away with something.
Right.
I think that'd be part of that song too, is basically like, we don't tell him. Like, make sure he doesn't know that I know. Uh-huh. Because for him, that's part of the
thrill.
The thrill, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think then maybe the second song is then maybe her and her confidant. Mm-hmm. Like, then we get to see how she has been putting this together the whole time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, then you maybe even just see scenes from the first one, little songettes or whatever, too, where she was, pulling the strings.
Right. And this all has this Titanic feel because we know where it's all headed.
Right. Yeah.
But you're so invested in wanting John and Marilyn to have their love and wanting Jackie to have her freedom. And so, but we all know the sad ending.
Right. Yeah. It's like, there's an instinct that I'm fighting against. So let's talk about it and see if it's bad or not. I feel like it needs like either a narrator to set it up and to end it. But
like Truman Capote?
No, not even a person. I'm just saying, even to exist at all. Mm-hmm. First of all, Truman Capote would be great just because like people are going to laugh just for the impression when it comes out. But it's such a crutch. But sometimes it can be really done. Like I was thinking of My Favorite Year, which they did a musical of as well. And like he starts it out by saying like, I'm going to talk about like this is not the best year of my life. It's not the most important, but this is my favorite year. And then then of course, and it ends with him reprising that song. Mm-hmm. I was sort of thinking if we had either Jackie or someone else like telling the story.
I wonder who that would be.
I don't know. Well, it doesn't. I mean, it could be the confidant who is like,
right. That's what I was going to say. It would be this fictitious person we've created who's like, I lived through the craziest administration, and here's what went on behind the scenes.
Yeah, to sort of set the tone a little bit of like, this is a '60s frothy comedy. This is The Apartment. This is that sort of rom-com. Wacky in and out of doors, sort of like to have that sort of fun, Frankie Avalon and that Funicello sort of like, swinging 60s time and not the darkness we know is coming from the, Okay. All right. That actually could work then. So that maybe that's somebody that we have, maybe that's just like, and literally could just be starting and ending. Like they don't have to be.
Well, if they're
Aaron
in the
Burr.
action, that allows them to. And then there's obviously their asides to us if we want, or you see what's happening here. This, that just happened. I made that happen. Like they could be our sassy narrator.
That's very Shakespearean. To aside to the audience of like. You're getting this, right? Like you're seeing it?
Yeah.
That could be a way to provide a little historical context when someone shows up and it's like suddenly the Spiro Agnew song and it's like you're like, "Oh, okay, let me tell you who to explain to the Gen Zs in the world like who these people are who might not be as familiar with this period of time." Well, that could be fun.
Well, I know Spiro Agnew from Crosswords. Exclusively. So.
There's a lot of people around who will be around for a long time and will have their own parts to play. So to have young versions of a lot of different people, sort of coming and going, and to having this person as our narrator setting it up, I think it's going to be really handy. Okay, I guess we can. So we have them. Together, and so now Marilyn knows. So I guess how do you think Marilyn would react to? Well, first of all, like she's sleeping with the president,
right?
And now has the first lady's approval to do it,
right?
I guess how do you think that affects her? Because it seems like she needs a second act solo number
Yeah. I mean, I'm fast forwarding to this being one of the factors into her suicide or but that's a different show.
Yes. I think they're actually making that show now too.
Are they?
I've heard that like they're actually trying to do a real musical of Smash.
Smash, yeah.
Yeah, like they're trying to take that like the musical from Smash and make it into a real musical now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be the Marilyn Monroe story from, cut print moving on, like it'll be the whole story. So they'll cover that.
Right. So for this, I mean, she needs to feel on top of the world, right?
Oh, okay.
She's starring in a movie. She has this passionate love affair. Her song is Everything's Going My Way.
Yeah. But it's all downhill from here. Yeah, it's like I kind of like the idea of like her. She's like, I'm on top of a mountain, and I realize there's no more mountain above me.
Right. There's only one way to go.
Right. Yeah. There's only one way to go. That's so good.
Now, you talked about this being frothy and farcical. I don't necessarily see it that way.
No?
It's feeling tragic because we know the end that's coming.
Yeah.
And the stakes couldn't be higher. Marilyn thinks all her dreams are coming true and she's going to finally have true love. And Jackie thinks she's going to have, freedom and it all comes crashing down.
Oh, okay. All right. So then I guess we can sort of get to that point. Like, how do you think the okay? So you're saying it is romantic and it has comedic elements, but you'd say much more of a drama.
That's how I'm leaning.
Okay.
But I'm not the boss.
No. We are collaborating together. Give me an idea of sort of where you put this in terms of musicals. Like, is it more Evita?
No, Evita doesn't have much lightness.
Also, has a very, she's living her good life and asking Argentina not to cry for her and.
Well, so
the nation mourns when she dies. Like, right,
saying, but there's no lightheartedness to that, to Evita. So true. I would think, and I maybe Deep Cut, but more Next to Normal, Dear Evan Hansen. Okay. They are hard, deep stories, but there's lots of lighter moments, and there's definitely a couple of upbeat songs in there to keep everybody engaged and keep the audience happy.
Okay, all right, I can see that. All right, I can live in that world.
All right.
Dealing with tough stuff, but doing it in a emotionally available way and not a silly over the top way. This is not funny thing happened on the way to the White House.
Well, damn it! Now I want to write that.
Well, I'm saying there is a version of this that is that,
right?
But like we can, but there also is. I think I
don't know. Emotionally, these are three really tragic figures in history,
right? That's what I was trying to think of, not to have it be like, whoa, here comes Jackie, whoa, like not quite that far, but to be a little bit more like that. Everybody's having a good time with this, as opposed to. I think there's an Andrew Weber song I think that he did about a woman like confronting the mistress, and basically her song is
another suitcase in another hall.
No, not that one, that was too. But no, there's another one. It's from I can't remember. It's from a really obscure musical, but it was I Knew Before. Like basically it's this whole thing of like you think that you've been doing all this kind of. She's like, but I've known. It's basically I've known the whole time.
Oh. Wait, there's an obscure Andrew Lloyd Webber musical I don't know.
I remember. I'm trying to. The lyrics are like, "Take that look off your face. I can see through your smile. You would love to be right. I bet you didn't sleep good last night. Couldn't wait to see all of the bad news. Bring all the bad news to my door. I've got news for you. I knew before."
Oh, but you don't know the name of the musical?
I don't know the name of the musical, no. So this is why it's fun to edit, because I can look it up. Oh, well, obviously it's from Tell Me on a Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's where that song comes from.
That's not a song I know, but I could sing other songs from that show.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
See, I don't think I could. I learned that song from a Andrew Lloyd Webber collection. A bunch of songs that somebody had done. It was all... other people doing sort of covers and stuff. And it was a couple of songs in there I had never heard before. That was the first time I ever heard a song from Starlight Express was on this collection.
Oh, yes.
Where I was like, oh, like this song is amazing. And then I like, wait, this is about trains?
Yeah.
It's There's Me. That's the song. Like I listened to that song and I was like, it breaks my heart. It's such a beautiful song of like, and then I was like, it's a song sung by a caboose?
Yeah.
The 70s were a wild time for musicals.
Oh, Starlight Express's 80s.
Yeah. It's a league of its own. And I think actually another one, I think that's coming back. I think they're actually going to try and do that again.
Oh, they should. I just told the story as a recovering musical theater performer.
Yeah.
I just told my sister this story. I went to the Broadway or the national tour call for Starlight Express. It's a dance call. And I was doing okay, but it was really challenging dance moves. And they had said, you don't have to be a skater.
Oh,
you just have to come to the dance call.
Have to do it in roller skates?
No.
Okay.
But I can dance, but I'm not a proficient, I'm not a dancer. I'm a singer and an actress who can dance.
Yes.
And I got a call back and we were in the callbacks and the moves got harder and harder. And then they reminded us. And when you do this on skates, and I am not a skater, so I faked an injury and got out of there.
Oh, you know what? Sometimes you know where your limits are. I think
gotta do it.
Yeah, because I mean, you might have avoided a broken ankle.
Well, no, I didn't. I really twisted my ankle.
Oh, of course. Right.
In the dance call. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're still available if they
Yes,
need.
Absolutely. As a caboose.
If they need another Dinah and they don't mind just having someone to wheel you out, you can sing your song and then wheel you back out.
When we're ready to do it on jazzy scooters, then I'm all in.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Sorry, I'm envisioning that in my head. Like
I know, I could see that.
It's so much fun because you could decorate on them all too.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's just staring up at the ceiling, imagining the jazzy musical.
Woo woo. Okay, the jazzy musical. I like that too. Okay, so then let's. I guess then I think we need to get to what's our defying gravity? What's our big second act? You can't stop the beat kind of thing. Like how do we end this in a way, because we know that bad things are coming afterwards. How do we end it in a way that people have a song in their heart and ready to be home without it being like, oh.
Well, Defying Gravity and You Can't Stop the Beat are two wildly different.
Sure, one's an act one ending song and the other is an act two.
So, but and God, I just sounded so snotty. I have a BFA in musical theater. Okay,
if you want to talk about Let It Go, Let It Go is end of act two.
But I think that they all have to find peace with this choice before he gets on the plane for Dallas, right? It's like, we're all good. We're going to, as soon as the presidency is over, he's going to be with Marilyn. Marilyn's excited. Everybody's happy. Jackie knows she gets to move on to her life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's my image is that they're all like, so it's a deal is the song, or so it's set, or,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So do you think that is there a word for a 3-person duet?
A trio.
Is that just a trio?
Yeah.
Okay. Trioette. Okay. Trio. So is it that? Is it like all three of them sort of like
coming to
peace with
a real understanding, and it's positive.
Yeah.
They're all getting what they want.
Right. They're all three adults, all understanding each other in a way they never had before. Like all of them seeing each other in a different way. Mm-hmm. And that'll be an upbeat song, you think? Because it sounds like it's sort of more of like a think of me fondly. That.
Yeah, I can't imagine it being a real banger.
Yeah,
but just something that is hopeful and positive, and the one everybody's humming when they leave.
Yeah, I think maybe we have an All the Way with JFK song at the end, like a campaign rallying sort of like a huzzah sort of thing at the end. I don't want to end with a gunshot. I know that's
I know that's the thing. It's interesting dramatically to have it end happily.
Yeah.
On November 2nd, 1963.
Right. Yeah. I think we don't even say the date or whatever, and just say that like he's getting on a plane, like Air Force One, on our way to Dallas, like to have that sort of thing, and people go, oh,
Right.
All right. So so that'll be So we have like a campaign, exciting thing at the end, and then we sort of like fade down to the thing, and then are we going to have a who lives, who dies, who tells your story kind of thing of Jackie alone? Or is that too somber as like a final?
It feels too somber. If anything, maybe there's a moment between the women as they comfort each other that, life will go on without him. It's a song called Without Him.
Okay.
And
I like it.
It's sincere and heartfelt and somber, but it's the two of them realizing they both loved him in their own ways and life will go on.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Actually, if you could like do a real heartfelt, like from Wicked, the handprint on my heart sort of.
For good, yeah.
Yeah, for good, yeah, exactly. To do that, to have as sort of like, now we both have to live without, this central figure. Mm-hmm. And also, this is the last time we're going to talk to each other.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Like this is between you and me, like this is it. Like we don't cross paths again.
Correct.
So it's like,
so no one can ever know about the pact we had and
exactly
the plans we made. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Oh, that's pretty good. I like it because that has that nice little bittersweet thing too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's really good. Yeah. Ooh, big curtain call. Okay. All right. So then I guess is there anything that we missed along the way? I was sort of moving us to wrap things up, but is there anything else you want to have?
Well, for levity, there could be the kids that could have a fun song about, I don't know what,
Yeah, sort of like from Sound of Music. They have their own little.
Yeah. Or
goodbye, so long.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't go that cheesy. I would say that there's Daddy's never here, and Jackie's trying to keep them entertained, and they're annoyed, and then he swoops in at the end, and it's like, hey, Daddy's here, and but I know that they end up tragic as well, but
right. Yeah, but I say, but
within the context of our show, they could provide levity and also, adorable energy.
Yeah. And also, people. I mean, I think one of the things that's great about this is we're showing that people are more than just their tragedy, and they're more than just how the story ends.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of things that went along before that. I mean, I think that's where, I think finally things are coming around about Marilyn. That wasn't just like, there's there's the 5 years of her in Hollywood and then she's dead or whatever. Like no, there's a whole lot more to the story of all these people than just how they died.
There's nuance.
There's nuance, right? Right, exactly. Yeah. And I think having that as this is really a very adult show, and I like that in terms of like emotional maturity. That's really good. Okay, then I guess I have sort of two final questions.
Yeah.
So bring us to close, and they're going to be, the first question I think will be easy for you, and the second question will probably be the most difficult we'll have tonight. So, who do you cast?
Oh, I love it.
So we have, I'd say JFK, Jackie, Marilyn, and then our narrator. So we could just sort of focus on those four. Right.
For Marilyn.
Okay. Oh, going right for Marilyn. All right.
I am. Well, I'm thinking someone like Dua Lipa, who just exudes a gorgeous, sexy energy and can sing and is exotic and exciting. And I don't know. I like that idea.
I like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was actually thinking when you said that I thought of Katy Perry too, because she has had some of the, I know, but she's had some of the same similar. They sort of tried to put her in that Marilyn Monroe mold of like, oh, you're sweet, but you're also naughty, and now you're crazy. I mean, like the media just played out the exact same story that they do over and over again with all of these starlets.
Yeah. I don't know much about Katy Perry. I don't know much about Dua Lipa, but I'm also into always being diverse and
right. No, so, I think Dua Lipa. If I don't know how she is an actress. I haven't seen her.
Well, she was in the Barbie movie, and she's in this movie coming out in February called Argyle.
Oh, okay.
So she is an actress. And
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm happy with that. What are you thinking for? My thought for Jackie O, my first thought was Sutton Foster.
She's so milquetoast, Kyle.
But
I'm not a Sutton Foster fan. I'll let you have it.
Okay.
But I'm not a Sutton Foster fan.
I'm a Sutton Foster fan. I think she ends up playing the same things just because that's what's offered. I really would like to see her as Mrs. Lovett, even though I don't think there's, unless they decide to record it, there's no way I'm ever going to hear it. Mm-hmm. But she was on a show called Bunheads. Yeah. That was I thought she was really good, and she got to show a lot more range than she did as my white knight. Okay. Mm-hmm. But you have to do that. So, but if not Sutton, then who do you see as Jackie?
Well, what about Dina Menzel? She's physically more Jackie to me.
True. But, yeah, very true. Yeah.
That would be my vote.
She wouldn't have to dye her hair at all?
No.
Yeah. Okay, so then if we have her as Jackie, then who is the JFK to her Jackie? Who stands between Idina Menzel and Dua Lipa?
I got
it. Can have that sort of JFK energy. Okay.
Chris Pine. He's a great singer. Into the Woods.
He is a great singer, and he has the look. You are so good at this part. I
love this part. I love this part.
Okay, then I guess that I have no notes. No notes. Chris Pine, absolutely. We will put out the offer to him right away.
Yes.
See if he's willing to do 8 shows a week.
Yes.
He won't be.
You don't know that.
I think that'd be fantastic. Okay, then who is our narrator, our confidant?
What about Sean Hayes?
Oh, Sean Hayes. Okay, he's a little older than I was thinking.
True.
Because I think this person would probably be in their 20s. Like this would be the youngest of all of them. Because they're telling the story, so they're now, so you don't have to put old age makeup on or whatever. So I was thinking someone younger. I don't have a person in mind. I was just thinking in my head because Sean Hayes is in his 50s now, I think.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
I would want the same person to, I wouldn't want it to have it be like, I'm the old version. You're about to see the young version of me. Here I come. I don't want to do that.
Right.
I love giving roles to more people, but I don't want to. Let's just have the one fake person that they can catch on to, not 2 actors playing the same role.
I mean, now I'm going to the cast of Hamilton, and there's somebody like Anthony Ramos.
Ramos, yeah, that would be interesting.
I'm just always trying to diversify.
No, I got it. Also Hamilton. It was in Jess Plus None. Rory
O'Malley.
Rory O'Malley.
Yeah.
I think he'd be great.
Sure.
He has a really good, we're gonna have a good time energy. He was in Book of Mormon.
Yep.
He's on the cast recording. And,
done. Congratulations.
Right, exactly. And he's required to put Jess Plus None in his bio.
Of course. The playbill. Of course.
Okay, so then maybe you already have this. The final question that I have for you then tonight is,
what am I wearing to the Tonys?
No, okay. One more thing before that.
Okay.
What is the title? I'm going to give you a bad one.
Okay.
To start out with.
Okay.
Okay. I find it's easier when you have that's awful. I can beat that. 3 of Hearts.
I don't hate it.
You don't hate it? Oh, okay,
I was going to say Triangle of Sadness. Has that been taken?
I mean, All the Way with JFK is kind of right there, but I don't know if we want to have.
But but those are comedic.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. What did I say? The Pact.
Do you want to have some sort of presidential politics, something or other, in the title?
3 of Hearts isn't bad because it could be light, it could be heavy, it could be, so I don't mind that. But if you say All the Way with JFK, then it goes right to comedy and
true. Yeah, that's sort of like It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman. Yeah, the musical.
Right. You know your shit.
I do. Wait, this is the only time I ever get to flex this
right?
muscle.
Because I'm always here for you.
Yeah, I know. That's why I love. That's why I wanted to have you on, because I knew you would be in that thing. There's so many of these things I've seen where I could be like, she'll actually know that reference.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh gosh, a title. Let's just say Three of Hearts. I apologize. I'm not coming up with
something better. This is why it's the hardest question. It's like it's a title and a hard thing, and and chances are it's going to change as we workshop it through the way.
Sure.
So we got, So because we're gonna have like 3 years of like rewriting before it ever gets anywhere. But I think we've got a winner. So we've got this, and I also can say that for the Storywell, this is our first Broadway musical. So thank you for bringing this idea to the stage. I hope you had a wonderful time. It was lovely having you on, and I'm hoping that you'll come back and make up something else.
Anytime. I'm a little sad we're not actually producing this, so let's get on that.
Well, that's the nice thing is like this is what we do sort of at the end of the show, is that I am now sort of releasing this idea into the world. So so for anyone out there who's listening who is inspired by this and wants to write it, the idea is now yours. We're releasing Three of Hearts as a Creative Commons with attribution idea. So it is now yours. You take it. All we want to know is basically when you write it, if you write the music for it, any of those kind of things, link it back to us. We just want to see what you come up with.
There you go.
Yeah. So the idea is now yours. Take it and make something amazing with it. So, Mandy, thank you so much for coming on and sitting down with us here at the table. It has been lovely having you.
Thank you. So much fun. Thank you.
Well, the stories won't write themselves, so back into the world we must go. If you'd like to know more about Mandy Kaplan, you can hear more of her voice alongside her co-host Mandy Fabian on their podcast entitled The Mand Cave. That, alongside my audio drama podcast, The Swashbuckling Ladies Debate Society, are both available in your podcatcher of choice. Thank you for stopping by. If you're in this part of the world again, there will always be a place for you here at the Storywell. Now, go tell your story.